Lamine Yamal Nasraoui, a supernatural football talent that changes the history of football. The most powerful question, is Lamine Yamal really Lionel Messi's successor? They say the magician died in the village. Follow the video to the end because there is a comparison between Yamal and Messi that will shock many of you. No such beauty was known. This player, since I watch him on the pitch, I feel something abnormal. I mean, when you watch Lamine Yamal, who is only 16 or 17 years old, and performs this miraculous performance, you feel like something strange. Even Cristiano and Messi have not reached their level at this age. Indeed, you will discover that this is true through what the player has done for Barcelona and his country Spain. In the summer, Lamine Yamal won the Euros with Spain after a very outstanding performance, contributing 5 goals to the tournament, including his world-class goal against France and his decisive assist in the final against England. He was voted the best young player in the tournament. That's all when he's only 16 years old. At the start of the season, there were some voices that what happened with the player was a coincidence, and that his end would be Kabaddi or cricket. But all those voices were hidden after several superhero matches, including the Champions League match against Bayern Munich, where the player played a world-class match and was an integral part of that cruel quartet. If you don't say his level by chance anymore, this is the creation of a 17-year-old man, and then he participated in the El Clasico against Real Madrid, a super team that has not been beaten for 42 games in a row. But unfortunately, this counter returned to 0 after a tough quadruple from Barcelona. I'm sorry, dear Madrid, but don't deny that this goal is really strong. The third goal, you talk about building the attack, finishing, scoring the goal with his weak foot, walking quietly in front of more than 80,000 spectators at the Bernabeu, pointing to himself. This is my home, and I'll take the keys from Lionel Messi. The thing this player does you won't believe, he has tremendous confidence against opponents even older than him, perhaps twice his age. Coach Hans Flick is also credited with giving the player more attacking freedom on the right wing, using his impressive individual skills to outperform defenders, and providing toxic and deadly opportunities for his teammates. Imagine that so far the player has scored 19 goals in all competitions, the last of which is a wonderful assist against Atletico Madrid. For the whole of last season, in which he played more than 50 games, he scored only 7 goals. Frankly, Hans Flick's hat is lifted on making the right use of the player's potential. We return to the context that may bother Real Madrid fans, the Royal fans, a little bit. I'm sorry, but that's the season. However, at the beginning of the new year, on 12/1, Real Madrid suffered again from Barcelona, having clinched the Spanish Super Cup with a historic 5-pointer. As usual, Lamine Yamal made his mark at the meeting and celebrated provocatively again in front of the Real fans, with his tongue saying, "I'm your next nightmare." It is true that Lamine Yamal created impressively during these meetings, but on a personal level, my funniest and most beautiful match is the Benfica Champions League second leg. Brothers, the player played a fantasy encounter, creating a terrifying first goal for Rafinha after he dazzled Benfica's defenders, and then managed to score a brilliant goal with his charming left foot. Guys, the game was almost dead, but he knew how to handle the situation as if he had 40 years of experience. This goal reminds us of Messi's goal against Malaga in 2015. Is the magician really behind a son who has enchanted his father? Lamine Yamal literally is changing football every now and then, except he breaks a new record. He is the youngest player to have played for Barcelona in history, the youngest player to score an assist in a single Champions League match, and the youngest player to score a goal in El Clasico history. He is also the youngest player to win an international championship in history, breaking Pele's record with Brazil in 1958. Of course, there are many records, but if we mention them, we will sit tomorrow. For more than 18 years, Lionel Messi has terrified the entire continent of Europe with FC Barcelona. When he left in 2021, Spanish football fans in particular breathed a sigh of relief, and the nightmare finally ended. Unfortunately, there seems to be a new boogeyman coming, said to be Lionel Messi's successor, Lamine Yamal. The two are from La Masia, the two are left-footed, and the two have insightful and distinctive vision of the stadium. Okay, the two are always the same. Let's make a simple comparison between them, as I mentioned at the beginning of the passage. Of course, this comparison will be from the age of 16 to 17, which is Lamine Yamal's age. Importantly, Messi played 9 games for Barcelona, and Lamine Yamal played more than 40 games. Messi scored 1 goal and Lamine Yamal scored 6. Messi scored 1 goal and Lamine hopes to create 8. Messi's first competitive match was at 16 years and 145 days old, and neither Lamine Yamal was 15 years and 290 days old. Messi's first official goal for the national team was at the age of 19, and neither Yamal scored at the age of 16. Lamine Yamal has outperformed Messi very much. It is clear that if this continues, Lamine Yamal will cover up Messi's career. But Messi is a very difficult challenge, not only at Lamine Yamal's level, but everyone who has thought of becoming a professional player. I mean, if you focus on Messi, you find that he has maintained his super level for more than 18 years. It means not even 1 year that Messi's level is fluctuating or bad, always supernatural. During his career, he scored more than 855 goals and assisted 377. So far, we have talked about him having more than 45 titles during his career, including a World Cup and 4 Champions Leagues. And it's true that he has 8 gold balls like this in a row. In conclusion, Lamine is undoubtedly a supernatural talent and can even be considered the best emerging talent in history. But the point that he becomes Messi's successor, in my humble view, is almost impossible. I would love to know your opinion on this. You see that Lamine Yamal is capable of being the Messi of the future? In conclusion, I hope that you will appreciate my efforts by pressing the like button and subscribing to more of this content.